Is my screen visible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, visible.
Just 1 second. Okay. Shall we start? So,
Yes, Prabhuji.
previously we have read about chapter number 13. Okay. So, in 13, we have read about the Prakriti and the Jiva. And we have seen that the Jiva is entangled in this material world. That we have read. That Jiva is there, which is entangled in this material world. So, now we'll be seeing in this chapter how the Jiva is entangled in this material world. How is Jiva entangled? Okay, so that we are going to see in today's chapter. So the chapter name is three modes of material nature. How this material nature is binding us through the three modes. So in about the three modes in detail we are going to read. So in this picture, what you are going to see is what you are seeing is the human beings are there just like puppets. Okay, and the three modes are there. You see the three modes. So three modes are the ropes are in the hand of the three modes. Some ropes are there in this mode, some ropes are there in this mode. So person is overall controlled by the three modes, and person is actually acting under the three modes. Okay. Living entity, it is said during the chapter, living entity does nothing. It is just doing under the impression of the three modes. Okay, that is called embodied living entity. Okay, and you see Krishna is there above all the three modes. So Krishna is controlling the three modes. So Krishna is the controller of the three modes, and living entity is under the control of the three modes. Okay, so that is what being shown in this picture. So let's see today's chapter. So I told you last time that we'll start with Mangalacharan. Okay. So I'll open my book. I request you also to open your books, or you want me to share the screen? Last time we shared the screen. So this time also. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Prabhu, visible.
So everyone, you can unmute yourself and we can start Mangalacharan. Before starting Bhagavad Gita, we recite Mangalacharan. Okay. Yes, everyone can unmute themselves. So, Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Padakamalam
Vandeham Shri Guru
Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Namami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so this is Mangalacharan. Before starting, we generally recite. So now let's summarize the chapter which we have done last time. Okay, 13th chapter. So in chapter number 13, we have actually 6 questions by Arjuna. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam, and Geyam. So these were the 6 questions by Arjuna on first sloka. Then second to seventh sloka, Krishna is answering third and fourth. So what is Kshetra and what is Kshetragya? So Kshetra is this body where the work is being done, and Kshetragya are two things are there. What is the Kshetragya? The soul is there and the super soul is there. Okay. So this Kshetra is made of 24 elements, and Kshetragya is the soul and the super soul. So these things we have learned. Then section C, verse 8 to 12, Krishna further answers to question number 5, that is Jnanam, and the process of knowledge and the liberation. So 26 elements are there of the Jnanam. Okay, 20 elements of Jnanam are there and the liberation. So we have read that. And then 13 to 19, Krishna further answers question number 6, that is Geyam, object of the knowledge. So two things are there, soul and the super soul. Okay. The difference we have read, the soul and super soul difference. Then Krishna answers question 1 and 2, that is Prakriti and Purusha, and that is being continued in this chapter, that is Prakriti and Purusha, how the Prakriti is entangling the Purusha. So we have read Prakriti, Purusha and their union. Okay, how it is entangled, that we are going to see in today's chapter. Then 27 to 35 sloka, Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge. Okay, so that we have read in detail chapter number 13. So now chapter number 14, how we are going to divide this chapter. So this chapter is small chapter, 27 slokas are there. So 1 to 4 sloka, the liberation and conditioning of the living entity. So how the living entity is being conditioned by the 3 modes, and what is the how this Krishna, how the living entity comes to this material world, that we are going to see in section 1, section A. Section B, 5 to 9 words, description of the binding of the pure soul by the 3 modes. How the 3 modes are binding the pure soul. Okay, that we are going to see in section B. Section C, 10 to 13, recognizing the supremacy of mode within a person. How we can recognize which person is in which mode, that we are going to see. Section D, action and death within the mode. If one person dies in the mode of goodness, what happened to that? A person dies in the mode of passion, like that. So at 3 modes, we are going to see the action and death, what happens after death. And at last, 19 to 27, transcending the modes, how we can transcend the 3 modes. Okay, so it is not only the description of the mode. Finally, after describing all the mode, we come to know that these modes are conditioning us, these modes are binding us. Then at last, the section E, Krishna discuss how we can transcend the mode, how we can go above the 3 modes. Okay, so very nicely it is described how the 3 modes works, how the person is entangled. Actually, many people you see, they won't be believing in the, if something you tell about spiritual life to them, they will be thinking like, this is like inertia, there is no development in this. Okay, why they are thinking like this, you will come to know in this chapter. Why they are in illusion, how they are coming under illusion. Okay, how much illusion they are, what is their nature, different mode. So now you can identify which person in which mode after going to this, after going through this class. Okay, you will be able to understand a person is in the mode of goodness, how the person looks like, a person in mode of ignorance, and what is the problem with these modes, why we should transcend these modes. Okay, why a person who wants to be spiritually advanced, who wants to progress in the spiritual life, why they should transcend these 3 modes. Okay, why it is important. So every person is illusioned, and why it is illusion, this world is called Maya Nagari. Okay, this world is called illusion under Maya. Some people are there who are illusion under the mode of goodness, some people passion, some people ignorance, but every person is illusioned, Maya, under Maya. Because how these people is illusioned, that we are going to see. So we are starting section A, verse number 1 to 4, liberation and conditioning of the living entity. So it starts with the blessed, the Krishna is saying, the blessed Lord said, again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained to supreme perfection. Earlier, the sages have attained supreme perfection. Earlier, the sages have attained the perfection of attained the supreme perfection. So now I am going to discuss that knowledge again. Okay. So again, Krishna is going to describe that knowledge. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. So the thing is, by becoming fixed in this knowledge, when we are fixed in Krishna consciousness, when we are fixed in the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, what happens? One can attain transcendental nature like mine, my own. Transcendental nature. When Krishna is there in any transcendental nature means the Satchidanand nature. Okay, we are qualitatively similar to Krishna. Quantitatively, we are different, but soul and the super soul, quality wise, they are same. Satchidanand. And we have forgotten that transcendental nature. We are actually, that is our nature. The actual nature is Satchidanand. But we have forgotten. Why we have forgotten? Due to covering of the three modes. Sadgun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. These guns are covering us, and we are forgetting our transcendental knowledge. We are forgetting our transcendental nature of Satchidanand. Okay. We are actually eternal. We are actually knowledgeable. We are actually blissful, but we have forgotten the knowledge. We have forgotten that nature of ours due to the covering of material nature. But when this knowledge comes to us, we transcend above the three modes, and then we can attain our original transcendental nature like Krishna's. Okay. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. That is called liberation. Okay. If you have this nature attained, we are liberated. Okay. So that is the thing. So introduction and glorification of this knowledge is there in text number 1 and 2. So understanding this chapter helps one to attain liberation and transcendental nature of like Krishna, like Satchidanand, and liberation, not coming to this world again, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. It is not like that. This is something which is not being done impractical. This is not like that. The people have attended the transcendental nature earlier. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata.
Okay. Mama yonir mahad Brahma. So there one word comes like Brahma. So a little bit confusion here, because Brahma we have sometimes we have seen uh, as the Brahman effulgence. Sometimes in the last chapter we have said Brahma is the material is the living entity is called Brahman. Okay. And now again Mama yonir mahad Brahma tasmin garbham dadamiham. And you see the translation, the total material substance called Brahman. The total material substance we have learned. Okay. Like total material substance, the material substance, the original material substance is called, what is called that? That is called as unmanifested. Okay. Unmanifested, or the pradhan, or the mahat tattva, that is called total material substance, from which, on which the glance of Karnodaksha Vishnu is there, and from there the jiva comes into the material nature. So the material nature is there, and that material nature total substance also come from Karnodaksha Vishnu only. So Karnodaksha, from the Karnodaksha Vishnu, you see separated energy is called the material energy, and that total material, the material energy's total substance is called Mahat Tattva, or the Pradhan, or the unmanifested. Okay. And jivas come to this material through the glance of Vishnu. Okay. So you see the one side there is Prakriti, and in Prakriti the jivas are coming. How it is coming? The total material substance called Brahman. So the Brahman is another name for the Mahat Tattva, or the Pradhan, the material element. So total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the birth of all living being, O son of Bharata. So Krishna impregnates through his glance the total material substance Mahat Tattva, or the pradhan or the unmanifested. Okay, and from there the material, the living entity come to this material world. Two energies are there, we have learned. One is separated energy, one is superior energy. Separated energy or inferior energy is coming from the Mahatattva, the material element, and the jivas are coming from the from Krishna, in the form of glands. Okay, so making possible the birth of all living being, O son of Bharata. Okay, so the Brahman here represents the Mahatattva or the Pradhan or the unmanifested. Sarva, yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अजं बीजप्रदप्रिताः. Hare Krishna.
Krishna is saying, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murteya sambhavanteya. Okay. Sarva yonishu kaunteya. Every yoni, every living entity. Okay. Every living entity. Murteya sambhavanteya. From where they are coming to this material world? From me only. Okay. Tasham brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. Okay. So Krishna is saying, aham bija pradapita. He is the seed giving father. Okay, so it should be it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. So this material nature is there. How the living entity are coming to this material nature? Through Krishna. Krishna is the original seed giving father. Through the glance we have read when we are reading the Goloka chart, Karno Dakshaya Vishnu glance is there. Okay, and from there the jivas are coming to this material world, and that glance is also called as the Shambhu, Shivji. Okay, so that we have read. It should be understood that all the species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and I am the seed giving father. Original seed giving father is Krishna. Krishna is the original seed giving father. It is not, and he is saying, Sarva Yonishu Kante, every living entity. It is not like that he is father of human beings only. He is father of other animals also. He is father of the other animals also, like the animals who are residing in the forest, or animals who are which we are seeing. Okay, he is father of every living entity. Okay, so that is the thing. And Krishna is the original seed giving father of all of them. Okay, that is what Krishna is saying. You see, this picture we have seen when we are discussing the Goloka chart. So this is Karno Dakshaya Vishnu, and from Karno Dakshaya Vishnu, bubbles are coming out. Mahat Tattva. These are Mahat Tattva, the main Tattva. You see Mahat Tattva written here. Mahat Tattva or the main Tattva. Okay, the unmanifested. And through glance, jivas are coming to this material world. Okay, so that glance, from that glance, jivas are coming to material world. How the soul comes into the material world and is placed within the modes of nature? Material world is the mother supplying the living entity with the body. So this body is not the spiritual thing. This body is material. This body is made of the matter. So material nature is the mother supplying living entity with the body. So this body we are getting from the material world, and the Lord puts him there. The Lord puts him there by his potent glance, and thus impregnate the material nature with the seed. So this material nature, Lord is giving the seed. Okay. So this body is made of material nature, and this body, and from in that body, the Lord is giving the seed. Okay. Description of the binding of the pure soul by the three modes now. So we have seen how we are coming to this material nature and liberation after reading these chapters that we have seen. Now we are coming to the section B, description of the binding of the pure soul by the three modes. So let's see how the soul's three modes are binding. So very nicely described in this chapter how the three modes are acting on the living entity.
Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehi namavyayam.
You see here, Nibandhanti, he's binding. This nature is binding. Nibandhanti Mahabaho, Dehe, Dehinam Avyayam. Dehe, Dehinam means the soul which is living in its body. Dehi means this body. Dehinam, the thing who is living in this body. Dehi, dehinam, avyayam. That living it is avyayam. That living it is eternal. But still, he got binded. He gets binded in this material world. Nibandhanti mahabaho. Dehi, dehinam, avyayam. How? Sattam, rajas, tama iti. Three modes are there. Satogun, rajogun, and tamogun iti. Guna, prakriti, sambhava. These three modes are there. And these three modes is causing the bondage of this material world, the bondage of this living entity, the eternal living entity to this material world. Dehi dehinam avyayam. Nibandhanti mahabahu. Dehi dehinam avyayam. How nice these slokas are. It is describing how we are living entity are there, which are eternal. This Atma is eternal. We are eternal. Dehi dehinam avyayam. We are eternal. But under the three modes, we think ourselves as this body, and that is called Nibandhanti Mahabhav. That thing is binding. How it is binding? You see how it is conditioning. That is called conditioning. We become conditioned. Conditioned means binding. Nibandhanti means binding. Actual meaning is binding. We are like tied up. Like a person goes to jail, he will be having handkerchiefs. Okay, he will having hatkadi. Okay, shackles will be there. We are also in prison house. We are also in shackle, and that shackle is the modes. Okay, that shackle which is provided by the nature is the mode. Okay, so you see, actually these people are working under the three modes. These are the shackles, and these three modes are under the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the material nature consists of the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When a living entity comes in contact with the nature, he becomes conditioned by the three modes. When living entity comes to this under the modes, it is now bound up. Okay, it is now nibandhanti. It is now in condition. That is called condition. Okay, conditioning. So actually our nature is avyayam, but we become conditioned. Okay. So actually you see this eternal living entity, soul, eternal living entity, that is eternal, that is transcendental. His nature is transcendental. But when it comes in contact with the nature, material nature consisting of goodness, passion, ignorance, the three modes, when in contact, so actually the nature of the living entity is transcendental. But when it comes in contact with the nature, three modes, then it becomes conditioned by the modes. And the living entity is forced to act according to the three modes. Okay. So soul of nature of the soul is Satchidanand. Actual nature is Satchidanand. But when it comes in contact with three modes, conditioned. He forgets that he is Satchidanand. Tatra Sat. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena vadnati jnana sangena chanaga.
So you see, Tatra Sattam Nirmalatvat. So the person who is in the mode of Nirmal means pureness. Okay. So the characteristic of these, now we are discussing the the characteristics of every mode. So Sattvam will be Nirmal, Prakasham. Okay. So that is called Prakasham means illuminating. Okay. You see the word illuminating, purer than others, illuminating, and is free one from all sinful reaction. Sukha Sangena Bandhanti, but it is also binding. Although this Satogun, the person who is in Satogun, they are purer than others, they are purer, they are illuminating, they have knowledge. Okay. And due to this knowledge, they are free from all the sinful reaction. Yet it is binding. Why it is binding? Sukha Sangena Bandhanti. Okay. This due to Sukha, they become bind. Okay, Sukha Sangena. They become bind to this material due to the Sukha, their happiness. They are very calm, they are very peaceful. The person who are in the mode of goodness, they are very calm, very peaceful. But still they are bound to this material because of this Sukha. Okay. Because of this Sukha only, they are bind. Okay. You see, this there is one video is there to demonstrate this. No voice is there.
No.
Let me see how voice can.
Of the city. Come,
Still no sound coming, Mataji.
come, let us go for a stroll in the countryside.
Sound is not coming for this.
We are able to hear.
We were able to hear Prabhuji in the
We
middle.
are able to hear Prabhuji.
Okay. So
Come, let us go for a stroll in the countryside. Look, I brought us a healthy picnic lunch. The air is clean here, so peaceful. Here we can get away from the agitating elements of the city.
you are able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
Prabhuji.
okay.
Yes.
So you see, this is describing the person who are in the mode of goodness. Very calm person. Okay, they will be living in the very calm places. Okay, knowledgeable person, knowledge acquiring. If you want to acquire knowledge, that mode of goodness is the best. Okay, so the thing which we learn from this, which is there in the mode of goodness, we are going to discuss now. Okay, so actually we have seen about the characteristic, but still the person is very calm, very knowledgeable, but still that person is this mode is binding because of the sense of happiness. Okay, so you see, so goodness conditioning, how this goodness is conditioning. So it is illuminating. Illuminating means the person knows what is their real nature. The person knowledge, if person wants to acquire knowledge, then this mode is the best. Okay, free ones from all sinful reaction. They will be pious living. They will be following pious living things. They will be very pious. People in this the mode of goodness will be pious. They will be actively. They will be doing the pious thing. So they are free from all sinful reactions. Those situated in the mode, if goodness becomes conditioned by the sense of happiness and knowledge. So they have sense of advanced happiness, advanced knowledge. If you tell those person, okay, read Bhagavad Gita, okay, they will be conditioned. They will think, I have already happiness, I am already satisfied. Why I need this type of knowledge? I don't need this type of knowledge. I am very satisfied. I'm very happy. Okay. I don't want to read anything more. Okay. So that is the sense of advanced knowledge they will have, sense of advanced happiness. They will think, I'm already satisfied. What I need, this is what I need. So they are already satisfied. They have sense of happiness and sense of knowledge. And that's why they are called conditioned, because they don't want to advance. So that is the conditioning, this mode. They think themselves superior to others. Okay. Because of the knowledge, because of there are no sinful reactions. Okay. So that is the modes of in this mode. How mode of goodness bind the living entity due to advanced happiness and knowledge. So this we have seen. Now, the best example for the goodness is scientists, philosophers, poets. They are active in the society. Okay, and they are working. They are very knowledgeable person. Knowledge is there. Okay, so what causes the sense of happiness? Because one is more or less free from sinful reaction. So they are free from sinful reaction. So that is what is the cause of sense of happiness. Sense of happiness and knowledge there, and they feel that they are superior. But destiny, no likelihood of liberation, because why liberation will happen if they are not attached to the Supreme? So they are not attached to the Supreme. They are under the modes of three modes. Under the modes only, the three modes of material nature. That's why their destiny is also no liberation. Okay. So best example is scientists, philosophers, and poets. Third thing. Who are the representative type of goodness? The who are representative? The Brahmana. Okay. So we see that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all are divided into modes of nature and karma. So which represent in this type of goodness is the Brahmana. Brahmana represent the mode of goodness, the person who is knowledgeable, who is very calm and peaceful, okay, who has knowledge. They represent the type of goodness. How the three modes condition the living entity act. How the three types of condition living entity act. So three types. Goodness people, they will be happy. This is the prototype will be there. The goodness people will be happy. Passion people, they will be active. They will be very active, always active, but they're active for the wrong things. So they are called passion people, they are active. And the ignorance are helpless. They're helpless. They cannot do anything because they are not in knowledge. So the goodness people are in knowledge. The ignorance people, they are just opposite. Goodness means knowledge. Ignorance means no knowledge. Okay. So goodness will be doing the things which is which they should do. They will be like, they will know what is good, what is bad, what we should do, what we should not do. Everything they will know in the goodness. But in ignorance, just opposite. They are in ignorance. They don't have any knowledge. So they will be acting oppositely. Okay. They will be acting oppositely only. So the goodness people will be knowing how to do, what not to do. The ignorance people, they won't be knowing what not to do, what to do, everything. And they will be doing opposite direction. Okay. So knowledge is there in the goodness. No knowledge is there in the ignorance. Okay. Happiness is there in goodness. Ignorance, no happiness is there. Okay. But every mode, all three modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, all are binding. No likelihood of liberation is there in everyone. Okay. Anyone. Now the second part, Rajogun. Okay.
Rajo ragatmakam viddhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tani bhatnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam.
So how nicely see this sloka describing the Rajoguna. Rajo means Rajoguna. Ragatmakam. So the nature is of this is Raga. Raga means lust. Okay. Raga. Veet Raga Bhaya Krodha. Earlier you have read. The lust or the desire. So many unlimited desire. Okay. So the thing in Rajoguna is unlimited desires or the lust. Ragatmakam Vidhi. Okay. This mode is full of raga or the lust. Trishna. Trishna is the hankering. Okay. Hankering. So the raga is there. Unlimited desire is there. If desires are there, okay, one desire is there, gradually it can be fulfilled. But if unlimited desire is there, it cannot be fulfilled. So if unlimited desires are there, they are not fulfilled, then what will happen? The hankering will develop or the longing will develop. Okay, that is called Trishna. So the Raga, Trishna is there in this Rajoguna. So you see the words here, Ragatmakam Vidhi. So Raga is there, Trishna is there, Trishna Sangam Samudbhavam. Okay, from Trishna it is originating. Then how it is binding? Tan Nibandhanti Kanteya. Nibandhanti means how it is binding. Karma Sangena Dehina. Due to Karma Sangena, due to fruitive activity, materialistic fruitive activity is the binding in this nature. Okay, the mode of nature, the Rajoguna, the fruitive activity is binding. In Satoguna, we have read that the advanced happiness and the knowledge that binds in the mode of Satoguna. In Rajoguna, it is originating due to unlimited desires and hankering, and it is bounding because of materialistic fruitive activity. If so many unlimited desires are there, so many hankering is there, people are bound in this nature, mode of nature, the Rajoguna, and they will be unlimited desires there. So they are attached to the fruitive activity. Okay, so that is the binding in this nature. They are bound to the fruitive activity. Okay, so sense gratification is unlimited thing for and ultimate thing for them. Lust, they will think that I have to fulfill this lust, and for them they will be always active. So we have learned in the previous slide, the Satogun people, they will be happy. Rajogun people, they will be active. So they have unlimited desire. Rajogun people, they have unlimited desire. So unlimited desire, unlimited hankering, unlimited bound to the fruitive results. So they will be active. So activity is there in the Rajoguna. So you see, Satoguna people, when you saw the video, Satoguna person was very nice, very calm. Okay. Now see the Rajoguna people, how the Rajoguna people are there. So I'm starting the video. Okay.
What are you doing, man? Out here working on your tail? Monday's the honey Sunday! I bet you forgot about Susie, didn't you? You're supposed to take her to Vegas this weekend. You know, lose your money Vegas, you'll be rich. You'll reach the top. Just one hitch. You're just getting stuck. Just get done.
Desires, hankering, fruitive results, greed. Okay, these are the things for the Rajoguna people. You see, now we are going to discuss. So passion conditioning. So now we are going to see the passion conditioning, characterized by strong attraction between man and woman. Okay, so this is the basis of conditioning of the passion. Okay, how this passion start? It is characterized by strong attraction between man and woman. So man and woman, there is strong attraction that is in the mode of passion. When it's developed, gradually the person will have family, and to fulfill those family desires, family desires, and to fulfill those desires, the person acts so many desire, material desires, and this mode of passioning, the conditioning starts. So this is characterized by strong attraction between the man and woman. That is the second part. So how the passion is conditioning? How mode of passion binds the living entity? Passion binds by rope of desire and attachment, lust, so many desires, unlimited attachments, so many attachments person has, and to fulfill, fully active, always active, characterized by strong attraction between man and woman. So man and woman attraction is also in the mode of passion. What is the advancement of modern civilization? So you see, modern civilization, people are saying so much advanced, so many things, so many advancement modern civilization has achieved, but they have achieved in the mode of passion, more attachment, more desire. That is what it is developing. So it is considered in the mode of passion. The advancement of the modern civilization is considered in the mode of passion. Okay. What are the some product of the mode of passion? What are the products? So hankering for the material enjoyment and sense gratification. So whenever you see this mode of passion will come, the hankering word will come, sense gratification will come, fruitive results will come. Whatever a person does, he does for some fruitive activities, fruitive results. Okay. So they will, whatever they do, they want something material result in that. Money minded, you see money minded people. You will gradually we say this person is very money minded. Whatever he does, he want something money in the return. That person is in the mode of passion. So you see this, what are the product? Hankering for the material enjoyment and sense gratification. Sense gratification they wants honor in society and nation. Something in return they want. They want honor in the society, nation. They will be working day and night very hard, but they are working for the wrong things. Okay. Wants happy family with wife, house, and children, etc. And to fulfill that, they will be working full day. Out of 24 hours, they will be working 16 hours. They don't have time for the family, wife, house, children. They will be working. So for house, they want to make house. They will be working for the 20 years of their life. They will be working, and finally they will make home. Where is the time? And they will be very nice home, very big home, every facilities will be there. But where is the time to stay? Okay, now your life is over. Now you are going to some other body. Where is the time? So the thing is like that. Want happy family with wife, house, children. To construct a residence for sense gratification, they want to construct a residence. This is also example. One work hard for a palatial house as if it is eternal. They think that this house is eternal. They want to build a big house. Thus bound by fruits of work. They are bound by the fruits of work. Okay. So the binding in this mode is fruits of work. What is their destiny? No chance of liberation. So this also there is no chance. Third, we are going to discuss. Tamogun. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तानि बध्नाति भारत.
Okay. So this mode now we are going to discuss tama, ajnana jama vidhi. So this the tamoguna, wherever tamoguna come, tamastav, okay, ajnana is the word, okay, ignorance, okay, mohanam, there is moha, okay, moha, okay, and there is pramada, alasya and nidravis. Pramada, madness. Madness will be there. Alasya, alas, alas is the Hindi word. Indolence is written there. Alas, okay. You want to, there is one work you want to do today. No, I will tomorrow. I will do. Tomorrow is there, then again he will say, no. After a few days I will do. In this way, the work is never complete. That is called alasya. Nidra is sleep. They will sleep more. Okay, 10-12 hours they will be sleeping. Okay, so the thing is, O son of Bharata, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion, moha. Person is in delusion, what to do, what not to do, not in full knowledge. No knowledge is there at all. So the ignorance causes delusion of all the living entity. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds the living conditioned soul. Nibandanti. Who is Nibandanti here? Who is causing bondage here? Who is binding here? Pramad, alas, and nidravis. The madness, indolence, alas is binding, and the sleep. So these things are binding a person in the mode of ignorance. These things are binding. Okay. So now we have the video. See. So the person will be like working day and night. Okay. And so that is the mode of passion. Ignorance people, they want bodily comfort. I don't want to work today. I want to sleep. Tomorrow I will work. Body comfort they want. Okay. They will be smoking. They will be taking intoxication. Okay. Fully in the delusion. What work they should not do, they will be doing. Okay. So that is called in the ignorance. So let's see the video.
Hey! That's that! That's that, man! I think you just need to chill with me. I got 6 packs in the fridge, play some video games, watch some TV, shut the curtains and just shut out the world. Sounds good, huh?
You see how nicely video is also depicting. So let's see what we're learning from this. So ignorance conditioning, how the ignorance is conditioning the person. Okay. So how ignorance bind? Causes delusion in all embodied living entity. So the embodied in living entity in delusion. The mode of goodness causes knowledge, ignorance causes delusion. Okay. Madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds the living soul. The living soul is binded by the pramad, alas, and sleep, nidra. Okay. So these things are binding the person. If a person wants to get liberation, these things will stop. Madness, he doesn't know only why to go after the liberation. Indolence, okay, why to chant today? Tomorrow I will chant. Day after tomorrow I will chant. Like that. Sleep, more sleeping. Okay, more binding. What are the characteristics? Ignorance is just the opposite of mode of goodness. Like mode of goodness is there, mode of ignorance is there, and they are just opposite. Under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand a thing as it is. They cannot think. So goodness can see the things as it is, but ignorance, they cannot understand the thing as it is. Okay. And the two indicates is very peculiar for the embodied soul. The embodied soul. Okay. So that is the characteristic. How it is manifested? Madness, laziness. Okay. Madness is there. Pramad, alasya. That is called madness and laziness. Pramad is madness. Laziness is alasya. Okay. Sleep. 6 hours is sufficient, but in ignorance, one sleeps 10 to 12 hours per day. Always dejected, addicted to intoxicants and sleep. alcohol, intoxication they will have. Okay, they will accept these things. That is ignorance. What is their destiny? Everyone's destiny, we know there is no chance of liberation. All three modes, no chance of liberation. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajat karmani bharata jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta.
That thing I'll stop now. Again, I will share. Shatvam Sukhe Sanjayati. Conditioning is happening on the three modes. It's again Krishna is describing in one sloka. Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. So the mode of Sattva-guna, the person is bound with Sukh, happiness. Raja Karmani Bharata. In the mode of passion, the person is bound by the fruitive work. Okay. And ignorance. Ignorance, how the person is getting? Jnana. Avartya. The Gyan is Avartya. His knowledge is covered. Okay. And Pramade Sanjayati Utta. And the mode of ignorance is covered by Pramada. Pramada is madness. Okay. So you see, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to the fruitive action, and ignorance, it's conditions one's ignorance conditions by the madness. So goodness, happiness, passion, fruits of action, and ignorance, binding is madness. Okay, so these things are there. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion to fruitive actions, and the ignorance to the madness. Okay, so this is what we have learned during the conditioning part. Now, recognizing, so three modes, about the three modes, we have learned how the person is getting bind by the three modes that we have learned. Now we are going to see recognizing the supremacy of a mode within a person. So let's see. Sometimes the mode of passion become prominent, defeating the mode of goodness, and sometimes the mode of goodness defeats passion, and at other times the mode of ignorance defeats the goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. When mode of passion is predominant in person, the other modes are defeated. When mode of goodness is predominant, other modes are defeated. When mode of ignorance is predominant in one person, the other modes are defeated. Always there is fighting inside between the three modes. Always there is fighting. One mode want to become predominant. And it depends on whom, that which mode will become predominant. What means it depends on what, that the modes, which mode will become predominant. Okay, all the three modes are there inside us. It depends on our desires. Okay, our desires. If we want to become in the mode of goodness, we will be in the mode of goodness. If we want to become in the mode of passion, we will be in the mode of passion. If we want to become in the mode of ignorance, we will be in the mode of ignorance. It depends on our desire, what we desire. Okay, what we desire, it depends on that. So you see, the manifestation of mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of body are illuminated by the knowledge. How we can the experience of the goodness is that the manifestation of mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of body are illuminating by the knowledge. When knowledge is there, then all the gates. How many gates are there in this body? Actually, 9 gates are
9
there.
gates.
So there are 9 gates are there. Okay. So this body is called the body of 9 gates, city of 9 gates. Okay. So 2 eyes are there, 2 nose, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Total is 7. Then 1 anus and 1 genitalia. That is 9. So this body is called as city of 9 gates. In earlier chapter we have read. Okay, so the manifestation of the modes of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of body are illuminated by the knowledge. When knowledge is there, then we can manifest the mode of goodness. Okay. Then second word, that is the passion. Both Bharatas, When there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptom of the great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develops. So the mode of goodness, when we can experience, when the knowledge, then there will be knowledge in the all the 9 gates. In the mode of passion, the symptom is great attachment. The person will be too attached to this material world, to this family. Okay, family life, attachment to the family, man, woman, desire, too much attachment. Then that is in the mode of passion. Uncontrollable desire, so many desires. I want to become the chief of this company. I want to become head of this company. Then one company you have become head. Again, I want to open more companies. Okay, like that. So many desires you will find. One is never satisfied with the desire. Every person you will see, so many desires are there. So that is due to mode of passion. So when mode of passion develops, the person will be having so much attachment, uncontrollable desires, hankering to fulfill those desires, and intense endeavor. They will be working hard to fulfill those desires. So that is the symptom. So actually, Krishna is telling one time one mode will be predominant and other will be like defeated. So now Krishna is describing what the person, when the mode of goodness predominates, what is the nature of that person? That person will be illuminated with knowledge in all 9 gates. When mode of then the person intense attachment, okay, intense hankering, uncontrollable desires, and intense endeavors. They will be working. Okay, people working for the society, development of the society. They want to develop. We want to develop our nation. I want to develop our society. That is also in the mode of the scientific advancement. That is also in the mode of passion only. Okay, so that is called in the mode of passion. Now the tamoguna, when tamoguna, what happens to that person? Oh son of Kuru, when there is increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness are manifested. Okay, when a person becomes in the mode of goodness, mode of ignorance become predominant, the person become mad, illusion, inertia, and darkness. Okay, pramad, alasya, nidra, these things develop. The danger of online gaming. What is true, they will be perceiving true. What is false, that they will be perceiving as true. What not to be done, they will be doing that thing only. True path, they won't follow. Wrong path, they will be following. Okay, so those things are there in the tamoguna. Tamoguna is very dangerous, very dangerous. Rajoguna is also dangerous because the person is illusioned. They don't want to see only the spiritual world. They don't want, because they are too busy in their fruitive activity. Full morning they will wake up, evening till night they will be working for earning money. Whatever you tell, they won't be listening. And whatever they do, I have done this, I want something in the result. Okay, return. If there is no money in that thing, I won't be working. Like that they will be having. But in ignorance, bodily comfort. I want body should be in comfort zone. Okay, sleep more. Danger of online gaming. Online gaming they will be doing virtual world. Okay, virtual world. No original world, virtual world. And whatever the work they will do, there is no result in that. Just they want is bodily comfort. Okay, there is illusion, virtual world illusion, danger of online gaming, illusion. Okay, so you see, this is the illusion. When illusion develops, the person is madness, illusion. What they should do, they are not doing. What they should not do, they will be doing. Okay, so that is the section what describes about all the activity when one predominates, and it depends on us which mode we want to be. Okay, how we can change the mode, we'll be learning at last. And the thing is section D. Okay, section D, that is verse 14 to 18. So we are going to see D 14 to 18. Actions and death within the mode. When a person act, when a person die in the mode, what happens to that? So what happens at that? What happens at that to one predominated by the specific mode, and result of action by one predominated by the specific mode. So one person who is dying in the mode of predominant mode, goodness, what happens to that? Mode of passion, what happens to that? And ignorance, what happens to that? So when one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planet of the great sages. So these people are pure. The goodness people are pure. They are free from the sinful activity. They don't do the sinful activity they will do. So when one dies, they will attain the higher planet of great stages. Okay, higher planets. They will go to the higher planets. Pure living entity lives. Pure living entity lives in the higher planets. Brahma Loka, these Loka, Swarga Loka, higher planets. Next is the Rajoguna, the person, hankering person. Okay, when one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. So mode of passion. Actually, the passion is mixed mode. Sometimes the higher things are there. A mixed mode means the tamoguna tendencies are also there. Okay, the person will be working, they are not working in the correct direction. So sometimes they will loka, sometimes they will go to the lower loka also. Okay, so they will go to the lower loka also. So when one is die in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activity. Those engaged in fruitive activity will take birth among them. And when dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in animal kingdom, lower species. Okay. Yes, mother. Okay, okay. Karmana
Prabhuji, can't hear you.
tasyahu satikam nirmal palam rajastu phalam dukkam ajnanam tamsah phalam. By mode of goodness one becomes purified, mode of passion result in distress, and action
Prabhuji,
performed in the
voice
mode of
is not coming
ignorance
properly,
result in
Prabhuji.
Ah,
Some disturbance is there.
My
We
voice
are
is
not
not
able to
coming
hear you
properly.
properly, Prabhuji.
no, it is delayed. There is a delay.
There is delay. Is it
Ah,
okay now, Mataji? Okay.
little better.
So the action three mode is right now. Person who is in the mode of goodness, what happened to that person in the mode and ignorance, what happened to that? So work done in the mode of goodness, one become purified. When one is in the mode of goodness, nirmala. Satvik nirmalam phalam. The work of the work which is done in the sattvic mode, the result is nirmal, purification. Okay. Rajas or rajasic mode, the mode of passion, dukkha. The result is dukkha. When person is hankering, working day and night, full day, it is like dukkha. Okay. You see this mode. This is representing the mode of, this is the mode of goodness is representing. Okay. So this is like pure mode. Okay. This is the mode of Raj, the passion, the person, the full night, day, they are working. And what they are creating is this building, this building. Okay. Difference you see, this building, this building, this building, this building. Difference. So that is actually the all are dukkha only. This is also dukkha, this is also dukkha. Both are dukkha. So the result is mostly the dukkha. Okay. Dukkham, Raj. So the mode of passion result is dukkha. And ajnanam tamasa phalam. The phal of the tamogun is ajnanam, foolishness. Okay. Foolishness. So this is representing the tamoguna. So you see what they have made, from where the person will come down. So this is just a representation of ajnana. Okay. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. What is the result we are seeing? Okay. So from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. Again. Okay. So when person is in the mode of goodness, he is working, he will acquire the knowledge. The students, they should be in the mode of goodness. Okay. So acquiring the knowledge, the philosophers or the person who are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, at least they should be in the mode of goodness. From the mode of passion, greed develops. When a person is active in the mode of passion, they will be greedy. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. Okay. You see this? Goodness. See this? Hankering, passion. See this? Madness, foolishness, illusion person. It is in the mode of ignorance. So from the goodness, what happens? From the goodness, real knowledge develops. Krishna consciousness helps society to develop mode of goodness. This Krishna consciousness movement, this ISKCON, okay, it helps the society to develop mode of goodness. People can see things as they are, then they can be happy. There can be happiness, peace, and prosperous. When they are in the mode of goodness, they can transcend the above mode. Okay, so Krishna consciousness helps the society to develop mode of goodness from the mode of passion and ignorance. Then they can be happy, peace, and prosperous. Goodness. Now you see passion. From passion, greed develops. From the passion, everyone knows that greed, unlimited desire, hankering, these things are there. Prototype word for the passion. Greedy and always hankering for sense gratification without any limit. When the desires are only unlimited, then the hankering and sense gratification, they are also like, they want, they are also there. They are not under the limit, without any limit. Neither happiness nor the peace of mind is there, the mode of passion. And in the ignorance, from ignorance develop illusion, madness, and foolishness. No knowledge, irresponsible, cannot say things as they are. Being distressed, take shelter of intoxication. They are taking shelter of intoxication because they are in distress, foolishness, irresponsibility. Okay, so these things are coming in the mode of ignorance.
Urdhvam gachanti sattvasta madhye tishtanti rajasaha gahanya gunavrittista adho gachanti tamasaha.
So those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planet. They will go to a higher planet. We have seen the result. Those in the mode of passion lives on the earthly planet only. And those who are in the mode of ignorance go down to the hellish planet. Actually, this ignorance is very dangerous, as well as passion is also very dangerous, because passion is like mixed. Okay. So the person can, there also, the person can go down also. Hellish, animal kingdom. Okay. Very dangerous, these two modes, passion, ignorance. At least goodness is there, they can go to higher planet, piousness is developing. So from there they can go to the Suddha Sattva or the pure goodness mode. But Rajoguna, Tamoguna, very dangerous. They will go to the lower planets, okay, lower species. Now we are going to see the transcending the three modes, how we can transcend and why it is needed to transcend. Okay, so when you see that there is nothing beyond these modes of nature in all activity, and that Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these modes, then you can know my spiritual nature. Supreme Lord is above the three modes, and whatever things is being done, this nature is being done by the three modes. Okay, living entity does nothing. Living entity is only part is desiring. Okay, so we have learned that three doers are there. Three doer concept we have learned: living entity, supreme soul, super soul, and the nature. Okay, three things we have learned. Living entity is part is desire. Super soul is fulfiller. Okay, or the permitter. We have read the super soul's part is permitter. He will sanction based on the desire and karma which we have done, and the material nature carries out. So actually the things are being done by the material nature, but the actual cause is the living entity. Okay, so when you see that there is nothing beyond these modes of nature in all activity, and that Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these modes, then you can know my spiritual nature. So the spiritual nature of Krishna is, he is not under the three modes. He is master of the three modes. Okay, and he is transcendental to all those three modes. Okay, transcendental, above. What is the platform of real knowledge? Three form modes. Supreme Lord is transcendent to all the three modes and control all these modes. Supreme Lord is there above the three Three modes are performing all the activity. How can one transcend the modes? One can be transcended by understanding science purely by learning from proper soul. This is science. Bhagavad Gita knowledge science. Okay. How this soul is, we are not first body, we are soul. How this soul is working, how this soul is engaged in this material world, these things are there. And that is the science, that is the
Don't drop.
I think some disturbance is there. Yes, Mataji?
Prabhuji
Till what we have learned?
came up to 19.
This
We
one,
get
no?
to do this now. Yeah.
We have not done anything on this slide.
No, we have not done.
So platform of real knowledge. So what is the platform of real knowledge? Actually, we have learned this picture. You see, Krishna is there above the three modes. And three modes are doing all the activity of the jiva. Okay. So the real knowledge is three modes perform all the material activity. These three modes are performing all the material activity, and the Supreme Lord is transcendental to these modes and control all these modes. Supreme Lord is there who is transcendental to all these three modes, above the three modes, and is controlling all the three modes. How can one transcend the modes? One can transcend by understanding this science properly by learning from proper soul. Learning from proper soul. We should learn this science. This is also a science. This material science is different, and this spiritual science is different. Material science, how the other things are made, how the other things are working, material things are working. Spiritual science, how we are working, who we are, what is our real nature, who is the supreme, what we should do. These things are spiritual science. Both are science only. Okay. But the real science is the spiritual science. Okay. How can one transcend the mode? One can transcend it by understanding the science properly by learning from the proper soul. And we can learn through the proper souls. Okay. Who is the real spiritual master? Real spiritual master is Krishna, who is giving this knowledge to Arjuna. And from Arjuna, we are getting. Through Arjuna, we are getting. When an embodied being is able to transcend the three modes, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distress, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. When embodied being is able to transcend the three modes, above the three modes, he can become free from birth, death, that is liberation. And then again, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. What is the meaning of enjoying nectar even in this life? That is devotional life. Liberation means after liberation, after the death, you will become liberated. You won't have this birth and death cycle. That is free from the birth and death, free from distress is called liberation. Distress, four real distress are there. Birth, death, old age, and disease. These are called real distress. Four problems is there in this material world. And liberation means liberation from this distress. Liberation doesn't mean that happiness is there. Liberation doesn't mean that blissfulness is there. Okay, what is that? From where the liberation, the happiness and this happiness will come? So you see, actually there are two terms. One is called liberation, one is called devotion. Okay, liberation means there is no distress, but devotion means there is happiness is there. Happiness is there. So that is the difference part. That is the different part. That liberation means just liberate from the this four distress of this material world, that is birth, death, old age, and disease. But devotion means there is no need of leaving this body also. You can also enjoy the happiness in this body also. In this body only. Okay, you can enjoy the happiness. There is no need of leaving this body. So you see this sloka, It is said they can enjoy nectar even in this life. That is the devotional service. When a person becomes devotee, they can start enjoying the nectar from this life only. They don't need to leave this body and go to the spiritual kingdom. Even in the material kingdom, they can enjoy the nectar. They can enjoy the devotional life. Okay. So that is the thing. So when a person is engaged in devotional life, when a person is engaged in devotion, it doesn't matter for the person whether he is in a spiritual kingdom or material kingdom or any kingdom, whether he is in higher kingdom, whether he is in the spiritual world or material world. In the material world, whether he is in higher planet, lower planet, anywhere, a person, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is happy. There is no need to change the body, no need to do anything. Just devotional service can give the happiness to that person. Okay. That is what a devotee perceives. That is the perception of the devotee. Happiness. Okay. Devotee does not hanker for liberation because they are already happy in this world, this material world. So they do not hanker for the anything. Okay. They just want is devotion. Thus the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, and they're happy in that. Okay. So you see many examples are there. When Dhruva Maharaj example we take, okay, Dhruva Maharaj wanted a greater kingdom than his grandfather, greater than kingdom than his father's kingdom, grandfather's kingdom, okay. And when he got the lotus feet of Vishnu, okay, he compared it. How the comparison? One side is the all the material kingdom, big material kingdom, and other side is lotus feet of Vishnu. He compared the kingdom just like a stone, and he compared the lotus feet of Radha Krishna as the diamond. That is the comparison. So devotee does not hanker for this material thing. Devotee does not want liberation also. Liberation is nothing for them. They just want is lotus feet. Okay. So that is the thing. Service to lotus feet is everything for them. Okay. So that is called they can enjoy nectar even in this life. Arjuna inquired, my dear Lord, by which symptom is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the three natures? So three questions he is asking. Arjuna is asking after learning through Krishna the three modes. Arjuna is asking who is transcendental to one, what is the symptom, and second is what is their behavior, and third is how does he transcend the three natures? How to transcend? So that is the important question. The third one, how can we transcend the three modes? Okay. So actually Arjuna is asking three questions. What are the symptom of one who has transcended the mode? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the mode? Most important thing. Three modes we have learned. There is no chance of liberation in the three modes. So Arjuna is asking, how does one transcend the three modes? Okay. So let's see. The blessed Lord said, one, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, not attached to anything. Okay. Who is seated like an unconcerned being situated beyond the material reactions of the modes of nature, who remains firm, knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards, knowing that modes alone are active. Modes are causing all the activity in this material world. The person who knows that, who regards alike pleasure and pain, for whom the pain and pleasure doesn't mean anything. For pain and pleasure, he is same way, equiposed. Okay. And looks on a clod, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye. For them, he doesn't differentiate between these material things. Okay. Who is wise and holds praise and blame to be the same. For him, the praise and blame is same only, equiposed. Who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, who treats friend and foe alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertaking. Such a man is said to have transcended the three natures. So these are the nature of the three modes. There's so many people joining. Okay. These are the symptoms, and that is the 2 questions were there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate saguna samatityaita brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Hare
One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Okay. So how to transcend? The third question was how to transcend. The one who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So the thing is, how to transcend is full devotional service. Okay, when we are engaged in devotional service, we are actually in connection with Krishna, and we know that Krishna is above the 3 modes. Okay, so that is the knowledge. Okay. So how to transcend? The question is 3 questions Arjuna has asked. What is the symptom? Okay. How they behave, what is their behavior? And third is how they can transcend. The most important is how we can transcend the 3 modes. All the 3 modes are actually binding. No liberation is there in 3 modes. How we can transcend? The answer Krishna is giving is Bhakti Yogena Sevate. By Bhakti Yoga, the person who is engaged in devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, that person, okay, that person will come to the level of the 3 mode, above the 3 modes, that is called pure Satoguna. Okay, one who is engaged in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Okay. So Lord Krishna has answered to the 3 questions, method of transcendence, okay, transcending. How to transcend the 3 modes? One who is engaged in full devotional service, never falling, unfailing in all circumstances, never failing. That person at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Okay. You see the example, Prabhupada is there. How to transcend? I'm always active in devotional service. Okay.
Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyavasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya ekantikasya cha. Hare Krishna.
And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is constitutional position of ultimate happiness and which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal. So we know, the devotees know that whatever the impersonal Brahman is there, or the Paramatma form is there, everything is coming from Krishna's personal form only. Okay. So that Krishna is saying, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Okay. So this is the discussion in the purport. When we know that devotional service is the safest position, devotional service is the above the 3 modes. We know that 3 modes are there: goodness, passion, ignorance. But a devotee is above the 3 modes. That is called Shuddha Shatoguna. Shuddha Shatoguna. See, he is not bound by the 3 modes because he is taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna is controlling all the 3 modes, and the person, when takes shelter of Krishna, is above the 3 modes. Okay. So you see, devotional service is the safest position. Why? Because it includes all the characteristics of Brahman realization. Reference, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all the pleasure. Okay. And when one understands this, he actually becomes transcendently blissful. So actually, a person who is taking shelter of Krishna, Krishna is ultimate blissful. He is the source of all blissfulness. So when a person takes shelter of Krishna, he become actually blissfulness. Okay, blissfulness will come to that person also. Okay, all six opulences. Krishna is the reservoir of all the six opulences. All the six opulences. When a person comes in contact, he gradually start developing those. So Supreme Personality of God is full of six opulences. When a devotee approaches the Lord, there is exchange of six opulences, and thus realization of Brahman like eternity, imperishability, and ultimate happiness are included in bhakti. So actually, the position of bhakta is Satchidanand, or the soul is Satchidanand. They will feel eternity, they will feel happiness, they will feel the truthfulness. Okay, everything. So you see here, summary. Although Brahman in nature has the desire to lord it over the material nature, then desire to enjoy making fall down. So actually the living entity is eternal. Okay. But how it become conditioned? When it come in contact with the nature. Okay. And the desire to enjoy make him fall down to this material world. Association with the modes make him desire to dominate the material world in different modes. Association of the three modes. How devotional service helps them? By transcendental position. The position of the devotional service is transcendental to the three modes. Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. It is above the three modes. So that is the transcendental position. His unlawful desire to control material nature is removed. When a person is in devotional service, his desire to control the material nature is removed. That is how the devotional service is helping. Practicing 9 processes of devotional service. Senses are engaged. No hankering is there. One thus situated in Brahman conception become equal to the in quality to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you see the word equal in quality to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Quality wise, we and Krishna is similar. Okay, Satchidanand, both. Quantity wise, very big difference. Like Krishna is like sea, we are just like drop. But the quality wise drop of the sea water and the sea is both. Okay, but quantity is very big difference. Okay, so that is the difference between us. So when one is situated in Brahman conception, becomes equal in the quality to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Summary of chapter 14. So this we have learned. So let's summarize all the topics which we have learned. Section A from verse 1 to 4. The liberation and conditioning of the living entity, we have seen how the living entity is being conditioned, how living entities are coming to this material world, and how knowing this will liberate us. Okay. Then section B, verse 5 to 9, we have seen description of the binding of the pure soul by the three modes. So this we have learned in detail how the Satoguna is binding the person, how the Rajoguna is binding the person, and how the Tamoguna is binding the living entity. So that we have seen in the section B. In section C, the verse 10 to 13, we have seen recognizing the supremacy of mode within a person. So all the three modes are there. Sometimes the mode of Satoguna will be dominant, and other will be the dormant. Sometimes the Rajoguna will be dominant, and sometimes Tamoguna will be dominant. And when a Satoguna is dominant, how the person behaves, we have seen. Okay, when the Rajoguna is dominant, how the person behave, we have seen. And when Tamoguna is dominant, how the person behave, we have seen. And the next part, that is section D, from sloka 14 to 18, we have seen when a person is active in Satoguna, what is the result? When a person is active in Rajoguna, what is the result? And when a person is active in Tamoguna, what is the result? And also similarly, the death. When a person dies in the mode of Satoguna, he will go to the higher planet. When a person dies in the mode of Rajogun, he will be in the earthly kingdoms. And when a person dies in the mode of Tamoguna, go to lower lokas, okay, lower animal kingdom. That we have seen actions and death within the modes, that is the section D. And then last we have seen the section E, that is the transcending the mode. And the answer is how we can transcend is by doing the devotional service, because Krishna is controller of the three modes. Krishna is above the three modes. So when we take shelter of Krishna, we are actually transcending the three modes also. Okay, so the Krishna is the control of three modes, and when we are taking shelter of Krishna directly, then three modes doesn't have any role. Okay, so that is called transcending the three modes. And why it is important to transcend the three modes? To understand the science of God. Okay, when we are actually doing the devotional service, we come to know what is there in devotional service, why we should do devotional service. That is called Vasudeva state, or pure goodness state. When we follow that state, then we can understand what is there in devotional service, what is our real position, what is Krishna's position, and what is the relation of ours with Krishna. Why it is important transcending? Because we come to know our real nature. Okay, so that is the things which we have learned in chapter number 14. Okay, so with this, our slides end. Okay, so we'll take question answer from the last chapter. We have some question answer. Bengali class. Okay, so Bengali class devotees are joining. Okay, so Bengali class, I think from any Bengali class admins are there?
বাংলা ক্লাস তো করি আমি।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay, Bengali class is to be started, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. So I'll just end the session, Prabhuji. I'll
Okay,
make
Prabhu.
any person to be made host, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. मुझे host कर दे सकते हैं आप.
Okay. Okay. So we'll be leaving. Very sorry, Prabhuji. So we actually wanted to finish the class, so we have extended a little bit more time. So very sorry to take little bit of your time. You could have told me earlier, Prabhuji. We could have in the classes. Okay. So very sorry to
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji, Sushmita Mataji. Very sorry.
No, no, it's okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. No issue, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
It's okay. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Mataji. We'll be
Yes,
leaving,
yes.
Mataji. Very sorry.
Yes,
So
no,
devotees-
no, Prabhu. It's okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, yes. I'll just end the stop the YouTube live, Mataji. You can restart the YouTube live.
Yes, yes.
Okay. No, I cannot stop now. So please stop the YouTube live and restart again, Mataji, so that
Yes, sir.
your YouTube